Okay, welcome to part 2 of Black Trim Restorer. I'm going to do some hands-on demonstrating with my vacuum cleaner, leaf blower. I'll see how it goes, but thanks for joining in. If you found this video without seeing part 1, I'll put a link here so you can see part 1 first before you proceed to part 2. I'm actually going to use it on my leaf blower because this piece is black trim, black plastic, call it whatever you want. Let's see what kind of results we get here. I'm just going to wipe off the dirt. So in fact, if you see that, and that is very, very warm, you can see where it literally did restore this. So this looks better than, let's say, over here or over here. But the problem with that is all it's doing is burning off those impurities and additives that have risen to the top. Okay, but those pores are still open, and the impurities and so forth will continue to oxidize and continue to burn. So nothing's ever going to last forever because that's the nature of the beast, which is these plastics are inferior because they add additives and there's impurities to them. Okay, it's just cost prohibitive for a manufacturer to put out, mass quantities of this stuff and use the same type of pure plastic or polymers that, let's say, a gun manufacturer would use, or some high-tech piece out of the aerospace industry. Okay, that would just be purely unacceptable. So this is always going to be degrading. The question is how do we restore it versus how do we cover it up? Because I'm of the opinion that most of the products, and any product that's truly a silicone-based product, is more of a cover-up. It's a band-aid, and it works as long as you're willing to keep applying it. But what a lot of people don't know is that silicone actually will accelerate this oxidative process. But so long as you keep it up, it will continue to work. But the second you stop, it's going to oxidize that material. So I would never recommend using a heat gun because A, you get an uneven finish to it anyways, and B, you're not actually applying something to truly restore the product. All you've done, or restore the material, all you've done is burnt away that layer of oxidation, so now that it can essentially just repeat the process over and over again. So let's use the solution finish. This is the cleaner. It is a citrus-based cleaner, which puts it on the side of alkaline on the pH scale versus acid. You could use rubbing alcohol, but if you buy the kit, it comes with this cleaner that cleans away the oxidation and that layer first. So we're going to clean this, and I'm going to go over at least this half of it, and because I want to use it as a comparison. And you can see that in fact it did pull up some dirt, not a huge amount, but the surface is prepped now for the actual trim restorer. Now this is solution finish. This is actually the trim restorer. Now do not be misled because it's such a small amount. This stuff seriously goes a long way. I remember the first time I used it, I was just blown away at truly how far it goes. And you'll notice that it is in fact black. This is the applicator pad that comes with it. This is the one that I keep with me because I use it a lot. And you apply it to a dry applicator pad. Now I put two little, not drops, I don't know what you want to call it, two little applications on this little section of the pad. and it's more than enough to do this whole side of this funnel, whatever you want to call that. Any excess, you can see on my gloves, you see there's a little bit of black. Any excess you simply wipe off. It's very safe, very easy to use. You allow that to set up for 5-10 minutes, and then you come back over it and you wipe it off. And just with my finger you can see that literally virtually nothing came off. But you do allow it to set it for a little bit, and then you just wipe it down. I'm just going to cut to the chase here and wipe it down even before it's allowed to truly set in. So that is a true trim restore. So let's take a look at the product Black Wow. Now the reason this is packaged this way is because this was the new and improved formulation that I actually purchased from, I purchased it from the founder of Black Wow, which is Richard Lynn, and it was before he had the labeling done for the new formulation. So this is why it's that way. And this is my applicator that I use for Black Wow. As you can see, I use it frequently. As I said, I use both products. So in all fairness, let's clean this side, because the directions for Black Wow is you simply prep the area first. You can use really any kind of cleaner, and cleaners as a rule reside on the alkaline side of the pH scale. So we're going to clean that first. I just use my distilled water with alcohol, removes that slight layer of the hydroperoxide gas that's created that oxidative layer. I've applied a little bit to the sponge, and let's just go over it. I mean, really, as a professional, I should be keeping up on my equipment better than I have, which, if you're getting into the business, you'll find it's very difficult. So there we have, once again, a little bit of this goes a long way also, and it appears as though it has truly restored the black trim. So that's where the debate will ensue and linger out in the world of detailing, is the difference between a true restoration product and a product that's more of a band-aid, superficial effect that's temporary, will not last, has to be repeated over and over again or more quickly, because this silicone-based products are literally lying at the surface. The molecules are not small enough to actually penetrate within the pores of black trim. And to make matters worse, as if we could make them any worse, is, for example, here we have my van. And on this single van alone, I can point out anywhere from 4 to, let's say, 8 different types of plastic, rubber type of materials. So on the inside of the door here, we have your very traditional textured black trim. And I think I will use this to demonstrate the product here in the direct sunlight. My bumper, my rear bumper, same type of black trim. But then we go along the side here, and here we have the B pillar. And just so you know, it goes like this: A pillar, B pillar, and on this van, that would be the C pillar. But on this B pillar, this is actually not paint. It's actually a like a vinyl graphic. It's a an adhesive backed piece of black tape that is stuck. I could literally peel this off. This has virtually no pores to it. So any product that you put on this would be completely superficial and would just wear away. Here I have my black plastic molded side mirror housing. This is molded in black. It's not painted, and this is smooth and rigid and hard. So I can polish this with a buffer, I can use traditional polishes on this and actually restore the shine to this through polishing. To apply an Armor All product or a Black Wow or even a solution finish, because it's not porous, it would be completely superficial and actually make a mess. Here on the A-pillar, I have this like rubberized trim piece that's kind of a hard plastic, hard rubber, but it's still malleable. I can still kind of dig my fingernail into it. And once again, because this is not your traditional porous material, any products you put on this would be superficial because it needs pores in order for it to saturate and soak into. Then, for example, the door handle, this would be similar to the side mirror housing, where this could actually be, I would have two choices on this. I could enhance it temporarily with a product like Armor All or Black Wow or even Solution Finish, but I accept that it would be very temporary because this is hard metal that I think has actually been molded in black. I could be incorrect, but I could polish this with polish and restore some of the shine to it, or I could simply apply some superficial type of dressing like the products that I'm talking about. Then up here on the roof rack, we've got like a rubberized plastic here. We've got a metal bar here. Here's yet another black trim piece, and they all come in endless configurations and formulations, and that's what gets confusing, and that's why I carry both products with me, is so I can pick and choose and actually use them to complement each other. Okay, I've got my two products, got my Black Wow, got my Solution Finish, I got my both dedicated applicators, and I'm just going to treat this area with both of these products. I'm using two little dollops here, and I'm going to show you. Okay, I've applied both. I'm gonna allow this to sit for 10 minutes. We're gonna come back, we're gonna rub it off, and we're gonna check our results. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. If you recall, we have Solution Finish on the right, Black Wow on the left. Let's go in for a closer look. We have, I'm gonna take this is actually just a paper towel, and I'm gonna wipe this. And you can see, in fact, that black does come up. Why is that? Because if you recall, the product itself is made out of a black solution, hence Solution Finish. But so it restores it to a nice stock finish. Then over here, I'll use the other side, and I already know what's going to happen based on the way the product starts out, which is mostly clear with the orange tint to it. So here we have, and it pulled up some of the dirt and some of the additional oxidation to it. But if we stand back and look at it, to me there's still a slight unevenness to this trim piece. Whereas in over here, it is, you know, clearly more uniformed. I don't know if it's going to pick up on the video, but here in live time, this has created a more uniformed appearance, very stock-like, not greasy, not glossy. If you come at an angle, maybe it'll pick up the fact that this has more of a shine. Certainly feels more, you know, kind of greasy. This just feels normal, as in not greasy or anything. So if I had to pick between one product, if I had to make a choice, now like I said, I carry both with me because occasionally I come across customers that truly want a glossier look. Solution finish is not going to create that hyper intense glossy look, but it will restore it. And I know it's going to be permanent because I've used it long enough and have gone back to cars that I've used it on to know that it does last. So I actually carry both, but if I had to make a decision between one or the other, yes, my money would be with Solution Finish. Does it matter to me which one you buy? No, not as far as financially, because I could push any product on you and try to sell you on it, but that's not my goal. My goal is to educate you so that you can make an informed decision. And if you want to simplify it and just say, hey Darren, you're in the real world of detailing, what do you use? Well, I use both, but if I had to pick between one and one to start out with, it would be Solution Finish. So once again, if you go to the Show More box, there'll be a link there and it will take you to a very comprehensive page, and you can actually get both products or one or the other if you like, and help me and support my cause. So thank you in advance.